Welcome back to the channel, Tim Reacts. Y'all know what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back. Yeah, man, we about to watch Jonathan Mayers. They talking about his ex-girlfriend being arrested, so we better see what they talking about, y'all. Y'all hit that like button, y'all hit the subscribe button, man. We in here vibing.
Accused of being zesty. That they got a
list. What happened?
Dwight Howard is being accused of being zesty.
He ain't accused. That nigga came out.
Where not to take women in 2023 and 2024 as far as dates. We gonna get to that on the live stream tonight. But more importantly, there's a story that is not being covered.
But we already knew that with him.
To the extent that it was being covered when he was being accused, and that's Jonathan Majors, A, have been vindicated, and then B, his accuser is allegedly facing charges of assault. Now, I know that this is not the story that women want me to talk about because it flies in the face of the things that we've been hearing all along as far as what's wrong with men, but not holding women accountable. Now, again, this has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has nothing to do with any of that. The fact that you are a modern woman in Western society means that you've been afforded a level of privilege by our court system, by the court of public opinion, and then also based off of the sisterhood, because the sisterhood, contrary to popular belief, it extends beyond any color, right? Women will hold other women down, especially when it comes to the men that they then talk to, right? But the level of accountability is insane in that it does not get the same amount of coverage for men.
Most people have no clue that 23 the best way to make money.
Do y'all hold each other accountable?
Not with physical product.
Men, when they then are vindicated, regardless of how much they lose, we've seen it with Johnny Depp, we see it with Tyrese, we see it with a lot of different guys. A lot of these guys get thrown under the bus. They don't get any kind of support. Guys don't support them because they're too busy simping for females. Women don't support them because they're too busy being a part of the sisterhood and the feminist movement and agenda. And they don't get the same level of love and encouragement. And I'm going to address this. I'm going to address it in detail tonight on the live stream on this channel. So make sure y'all tune in. And we also going to address this whole list thing that everybody got going on as far as where you should and shouldn't take a woman. Man, we about to really...
Oh, hell no. I just seen something like that, y'all.
How come it doesn't get the same amount of coverage? The same reason...
Oh, no. We're going to have to definitely react to that, y'all.
Is released from prison after he was been accused and convicted of something that he didn't necessarily do. And that's why it's very difficult for guys to believe all women. And more importantly, why they had to have a campaign in order for you to believe all women in the first place. Think about it. You don't have to campaign for something that's already inherently what it's supposed to be. You don't have to campaign for men to go into fields that are dangerous for women because men have always went into fields that was dangerous for women. You don't have to campaign for men to just be more logical in the fields or the jobs that they then go for, such as engineering and things like that, right? Because men in general are well suited to go into those positions because that's just inherently who they are. Women by default are more nurturing. You just expect for there to be a large presence of women when it comes to the hospital system or the healthcare system, right? And so you don't have to campaign for that, but they do have to campaign for the thing that's not inherently you, but the thing that they want you to be a part of because it's a part of the agenda. Black girls code. Don't mean that black girls shouldn't be engineers or whatever. I think that people should be able to do whatever it is that you want to do. That's called capitalism, learn and compete. I'm with it. But I don't think that you should get a leg up as a result of the fact that you're just a black woman and that you should be a part of some diversity, equity, and inclusion program. I don't believe that affirmative action, especially as we see it today in society today.
That nigga always sitting at the gas station. It look like that nigga at the gas station.
They even hijacked that. And they said, listen, you're a double minority because you're a woman and you may be a woman of color. Not black woman, you're a woman of color. So the civil rights movement was hijacked by the feminist movement. The feminist movement was just hijacked by the alphabet community movement. And then that's going to be hijacked by something else. But I got a theory on that. We're not going to talk about that. My point is this. This is the whole point of this conversation. Jonathan Majors will never get a fair shake. He'll never be able to recover the amount of endorsements that he lost. He lost a lot of endorsements at the time. He'll never be able to recover the amount of movie roles that he was supposed to get. He was blowing up. He had just been in Creed and you know, he had started getting awards and he was celebrated and he was all over the news. I mean, the dude was basically the next Will Smith, the next Denzel Washington, great actor. He was on TV crying because his acting coach had called him and all of this other type of stuff. And then his whole career got torpedoed, not based off of proven accusations, but just accusations themselves. His agent dissed him allegedly. People distanced themselves from him, right? Everybody just looked at him as a leper.
Yeah, man. So, boy, he just came off of Creed, did that, that Marvel movie. All this started off of, like you said, accusations and stuff. Like, that wasn't even proven. So now I guess it's coming to pass now. But it's like you said, man, how much opportunities and shit, and doors was closed on niggas just because of, false, accusations and stuff, man. It's lame, man. It's real lame. And like how he said, it's a one-sided thing. It's like, if a man did that on a different level, to a woman, it'd be looked as all types of, just crazy. People would be going crazy. Man, it's fucked up, man. But we're gonna let him keep going in on it. I just wanted to add that.
Woman hitter and all of this other type of stuff. And guess what? All of these people and all of these women that say that they...
And y'all, I found that video too with the list. You might do that one.
Want to satisfy? They're not a part of the Innocence Project, guys. Every single day is released based off of accusations that was made against them, especially by other women, of stuff that they did not do and they did not commit. And thank God that we now have the technology to be able to start bringing these people back to the front of the congregation in order to get them out of prison. Guys, every single day. It was a story that I broke down on the Millionaire Morning Show of a guy in St. Louis that allegedly busted in. I guess he was some kind of DoorDash driver, and allegedly he busted into some girl's apartment after she came to the door with a towel or something, and he tried to fondle her or something like that. And then later on in the story, they said that he FaceTimed her. What do you mean? How did he get her number to FaceTime her? And he was fondling. I said, listen.
What? That shit don't even sound right.
The one thing that I can't do is just automatically throw him under the bus, because the sensational part of it and how we've been programmed in society is to automatically say that this man is guilty by default just because the story is sensationalized and it comes back to a woman's accusation. Now, that's not to say that stuff do not happen to women. And I believe, guys, whether you get stuff happening to you, or women, whether you get stuff happening to you, if somebody does something to you, then they need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But what happens when somebody accuses you or sensationalizes a story and then you get handcuffed and thrown in jail and you may lose your job and your income and your reputation is damaged, and now we got social media and you'll never be able to recheck those stories? What happened when people say stuff about you that wasn't necessarily true to the person that then accused you of it? How come we don't have laws that address that? How come we don't have things that we need to address with regard to the things that people get accused of, or the accuser, and they wind up lying? The only person that we've seen come to the front of the congregation, and it's only because the story was just so outrageous, and the prosecutors and the state itself and the county and the cops and all of that themselves had to push for it. And even then, they're like, man, these laws are so trash that she's not even really being held accountable the way that she needs to be held accountable. Was Carly Russell. And she's still appealing that. They telling her, hey, listen, she should just get a slap on the wrist and all of that. At what point do you start making examples out of people so that they stop ruining other people's lives? Because this is not Call of Duty. This is not Fortnite. You do not get to respawn. And you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. What happened? Do they get their job back? Nope. Does Jonathan Majors ever get his money back? Nope. Everybody
lost a lot of money.
About anybody, and
I know that nigga lost some millions, but shit.
And wipe our hands of it. Next story, next opportunity. Nobody talks about it. At what point are we going to start holding each other down? Because even from a moral or ethical perspective, you can't just say something about somebody and then that just be the end of the conversation because you don't like men, or you don't like them, or you don't really care for who it is that they date, or the fact that they divested themselves and they became started talking to somebody that didn't look like. At what point do we forget men versus women, the gender war and all of that? At what point do we start to have a conversation about us just being ethical? And
exactly,
say, hey,
yeah.
that's not right. That's not fair. We need to hold that person accountable and make an example of them so that it does not happen to the next person that come behind them. Nah, that's too much like right. It's too much like right. We live in an environment in a society where it's too much like right. It's not going to play out like that. And it's just not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. You know it's not going to happen. But it's not going to keep me from fighting for it. Because if we can have all of these devils and these demons on the other side of the fence continuing to advocate against it, you better believe that as long as I got breath in my body, I'm standing for my guys and I'm standing for what's right. And this ain't right. What's happening with guys and this agenda that continues to be carried out against us, and we're now looked at as what do you call that? Collateral damage. It just can happen to you, and that's the end of the conversation, and there's nothing else to talk about afterwards. Now let me get out of here. Listen, make sure y'all tune in tonight on a live stream. We're going to talk about this list. We're going to get into it, and we're going to start to have a real conversation because you know what we do on a Wednesday night. I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure you tap into the Patreon.
Yeah, man. Nah, but I get where he coming from. It just, like he said, it's like, when we just gonna start what's right, what's wrong, you know, it's like we always want to make excuse. Oh, it's a woman. Oh, it's a man. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's my brother. Oh, he's black. He's white. It's like, why can't this be right and wrong? Like that's how God live. You see what I'm saying? Like all this fucking, like he said, all this man-made devil shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We don't give a fuck. You see. Like, come on, man. But, man, not to go in deep, man. He's pretty much, summed it up, man. Basically, we gotta do better, man. We gotta judge people what's right, what's wrong, man. Judge people by their actions and for their actions, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. Why, look, old boy, you know, nigga lost a lot of money and shit for all, stuff that wasn't even true. You know what I'm saying? Just people just wanted to, take it and run with it. So, it just show you the type of world we live in, man. So, y'all already know, man. Y'all definitely be safe. Things definitely change. So, definitely be safe out there. And y'all already know. Shout out to my I.F.Os. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit the subscribe button. And y'all leave a comment, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel society is today. And you already know we be back. Out.